All right, today we're gonna make a really simple plant-based yogurt that takes a long time to make, but no time at all to prepare. So the first ingredient is
Trader Joe's organic soy beverage.
And what are the ingredients in the Trader Joe's organic soy beverage?
They're long and varied, as it is water, whole organic soybeans.
Full stop. That's it. That's all that's in this. And that's why this works really, really well. You can make your own soy milk to do this, and it would probably work just as well. If you watch my vlog channel, you see where we tried to go to Trader Joe's to get this stuff, and we ended up having to go back a couple days later because everywhere else that we went, we could not find soy milk that only had those ingredients. So it's very, very important. And I'm using a whole carton, which is 1 quart, 32 ounces, 946 milliliters. This is the most complicated thing you have to do in the whole video. They say the waiting is the hardest part. I want exactly a quart.
Done.
Then, we need one more thing to make this actually work. Because if I just threw this in the Instant Pot, it's just gonna be warm milk. So what is that ingredient?
That ingredient is yogurt.
Now, we started the first time we made this, we actually used Kite Hill yogurt, which has active live cultures. That's very important. It's
Yes.
also plant-based yogurt, by the way.
Right, which is equally as important.
Oh yeah, you
because
want to use a
want
plant-based.
the live active cultures that work best for plant-based yogurt because you're making a plant-based yogurt.
Right, right. So in this case, we have a little bit of our last batch left. As you can see, not much. You need like 2 tablespoons. So I got out the the little thingamabob here with the silicone spatula, and I'm going to just scrape that little bit, which is about 2 tablespoons, into the Instant Pot. It's not pretty, but you make it happen. Come on, you know by now, I make a mess no matter what I'm doing. It's kind of a thing. Like, I need a shirt that says that or something.
I know things and make messes.
Yeah.
Or I make messes and know things. That's what
Something
I do.
like that.
What is that? I should know this.
Basically, that's the gist. When you get to the end of a batch and you have just like a couple tablespoons left, you take those last couple tablespoons. They've been sitting in the fridge for a couple of days.
And you make a new batch.
And you make a new batch. So here you can take that. And I just want to whisk this up a little bit to break up the chunks. Can't really see it. You just kind of do it.
Yeah.
It just looks like milk. I've seen a lot of people do this a lot of different ways, okay? There is actually a yogurt function on the Instant Pot. I didn't find that was all that effective for us. It didn't sing the first time. That's weird. Okay, what I actually use is the sous vide. So you can do this with a sous vide if you can figure out how to not put your sous vide right into the liquid, maybe, sort of, I don't know. Use the sous vide function on your Instant Pot. It works really, really well. All I'm gonna do is find sous vide on here.
Right here. Sous
vide, set it to 115 degrees, and I set it for 15 hours. You can go less, but this requires a long, long time. So 15 hours, 17 hours even sometimes, and it works really, really well. Mine's at 15 hours, I'm gonna hit start, and we'll see you in 15 hours. Oh, one thing. Vent. You want this to vent. This is not pressure cooking, okay? So make sure the vent is open so it can escape. All right, so 15 hours has passed, actually more than 15 hours. When I woke up this morning, there was like half an hour left. So I waited till it was done and I took the entire pot out and put it in the fridge. But it looks like this now. And what I wanna do now is strain it a little bit. Now, just so you're aware, you can totally consume this as it is right now, no issue whatsoever. I, however, like more like a Greek style yogurt. I like it a little thicker, so we're going to strain it. And to do that, it's really easy.
We're gonna have our vessel to catch the extra whey-like product.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a strainer, but that's not gonna be fine enough. So we're gonna line our strainer with cheesecloth.
We got this new fancy cheesecloth. It's like got hemmed edges and stuff. I mean, you know.
It's nice because if you keep using cheesecloth and it's not hemmed, then it's just gonna disintegrate on you.
This is designed to be reused.
So this is nice. And I'll put a link to that in the description below.
But it's already kind of, like you can see, it's fairly stiff curds. It's pretty nice. I'm impressed. But that's where using a good quality soy milk makes all the difference here. I've heard of people trying to do it with almond milks and things like that. It doesn't work quite as well.
We've actually tried with, I can't remember what type of milk we used.
Oat. We did oat milk.
Yeah, and it didn't turn out quite as nice.
No, it was like 1/3 the volume. Like we got barely anything out of it. So I like to stick with what works. And that stuff's shelf stable. I mean, we go there, we buy 4 at a time, and I make this every couple of weeks as we need it and go from there. Speaking of, let's talk about preserving, putting this away. You want to refrigerate it, okay? You do not want to leave this sitting out. I don't know that I'd freeze it. I just refrigerate it. And use it within about a week to 10 days. It starts to get a little bit watery. Just mix it back in together. We use it to make dressings. We use it for dips, all sorts of things. We use it as a sour cream replacement most often. What I like about it though is there's a lot less fat in this than there is in, say, mayonnaise. So for a dressing that requires mayonnaise, if you use the yogurt, it can kind of replace the mayonnaise and makes it a little bit healthier. But since this is going to sit out now, you can put it in the fridge if you want to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to kind of fold these things over to keep, you know, cat hair and bugs out. We are in Florida and we do have cats. I don't really push it down at all. I like to just let it do its thing. And
You can already see.
You can already see liquids coming out. Let this go for a couple hours to 6 hours if you want to, is all good. Probably like 2 to 3 hours is your optimal. The more you let it sit, the thicker it will get. However, if you let it sit for far too long, it'll warm too much and could possibly go a little bit moldy on you. So be careful with that.
Yeah, so if you have room in your refrigerator and you want it to sit longer than just a couple of hours, then go ahead and put it in the fridge.
But we're just gonna leave it sitting on the counter for a couple hours and we'll be back to show you what it looks like then. Okay, so it's sat for a couple hours. I did drain off a lot of the liquid, so I can't actually show you how much liquid there was because it was starting to touch the bottom of the actual yogurt. So, you know, that's not a good thing. You want to drain that off when that happens. But I can show you how thick it got now. Way thicker. It's not a super thickness yet. I probably could let this go for several more hours if I really wanted to do that. The difference is I use this for making sauces and stuff, so I don't need it to be that, you know, stupid thick Greek yogurt style, but thick is good. You know, this kind of thickness is good for me.
It is thick instead of stupid thick.
Yeah, stupid thick is just, you know, it's just too thick. Yeah, I say silly things. What can I say? As with all of our videos, got to do a tasting, but I only got 1 spoon. So I'm going to let Derica taste this. I already know what it tastes like because I licked the spatula.
So the first thing I notice is the texture. It's really nice and creamy. It has the texture that you'd expect to get from yogurt. And another thing I notice is the tang. It has a really nice sharp tang. Mm-hmm. And that is from the active cultures. They did their thing. They created yogurt.
Lactobacillus.
One of the things I want to say about non-dairy based yogurts is that they tend to have a very, very slight pinkish hue to them.
This one's very white.
This one came up pretty white, but
sometimes they do look like pink.
And sometimes some of the white, it kind of looks like it's pink. Mm-hmm. So
don't get freaked out.
Don't freak out. Don't think it's gone bad. That's just the nature of the bean that you used here. Right. So the beans and the nuts that are used to make non-dairy milk sometimes have a slight color cast to them, and that's completely normal.
Now, if I remember correctly, the Kite Hill started life as an almond-based yogurt.
I believe so, yeah.
And we made a soy-based yogurt with it. Not a problem. I do detect a slight nutty flavor whenever we make this one, which I'm using soy milk, so I don't understand where the nutty flavor is coming from.
But it might just be inherent in the process.
I couldn't say. It tastes really, really good. It lasts a week to 10 days in the fridge. That's why I make this much at a time. So we use that up in that amount of time, and then I just make more. It takes an overnight to make. It's no big deal. But as always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.
Bye-bye.